besties. Welcome back to the Girls That Get It podcast with your favorite hosts, Ken and Han. And we are back with another episode, another fun-filled, exciting, fun and fresh episode. We are doing, I wouldn't say a game, but
no, not a game.
It's more so like a question and answer situation, but not just any question and answer situation. It's the New York Times from honestly probably 10 years ago, which makes me feel old. They released a 36 questions that lead to love, and it was all the rage. And so we're bringing it back and we're going to answer some of these questions. We're going to do it in a couple parts. So this is part 1.
Yeah.
And that's really all that I have to say.
Yeah, we did record this already.
Yes. Yeah, we did. And so here's our
round 2 because
take 2.
There was technical difficulties. I honestly, my biggest regret since starting the podcast back is complimenting Riverside.
I know. As soon as we said they've updated, they're good, they're great. Now we've had these problems, and I don't know whose fault it is, but
if it's us, just let us know. But we haven't changed anything.
Yeah, so hopefully we're smooth sailing this go round. And usually what it is, we film 2 at a time, and it's always the second one. So this is the first one, so I'm expecting no problems. Hopefully that's true. Cross our fingers. Cuts to the next episode where we have problems, but that's okay. All right, let's just get right into it. I guess I'll read the questions, and we can just see the flow. Who wants to go first and whatnot? So number 1. Given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest?
Is this really number 1?
Yeah.
Damn. This is the only one I remember how I answered.
Same. This and the perfect day one I remember, but I'll let you go.
Dang, I already forgot that. Okay, so I gave 2 answers, one more personal, one more of a celebrity. The first person I said was my grandmother on my dad's side. She died when I was relatively young. I knew her, had a great relationship with her, but I just feel like out of everyone in my family that I've ever known, of course, I'm like my parents and my brother, but she was the next one that I just see things in my character, like some of my obnoxiousness and just love of life, I think, comes from her. She was also so caring, and she was a school teacher. So there's just qualities about her that I see in myself. So I would love to catch up with her, tell her how I'm doing, hear more about her life, because I was maybe 10 when she passed, so it's not like I know a bunch or have many memories about her life. I remember my time with her. And then the other person I said was Michael Jordan, because I love Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's fitting. That makes sense. Well, actually, I was shocked that you said that, but now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
They're I just, the way.
What would you ask him? Or would you just be like, I love you?
No, I'd come up
with I admire your work.
Yeah, I'd play it a little bit more cool. I'd ask a lot of questions. I'd ask for the tea on a lot of stuff. So The Last Dance is the documentary about him and the Chicago Bulls on Netflix. I love that just because of how it's told. I'm not saying it's all factual. Yeah. Because I think there's things that go with it. But I would ask him the tea on some of the more hot topics in that, because a lot of the players came out afterwards of it made us look like shit and made Michael look good. And duh, that's the fucking point. But also, he's a superstar. You don't become the GOAT by being peachy.
Yeah.
And just how he approaches the game is somewhat how I approach my life, specifically my career. He's just very all or nothing, and obviously there's not great qualities about that, but at the same time it's I'm all in.
Yeah, there could be worse qualities.
Yeah, so I just am absolutely obsessed with him. Last night I probably spent an hour just watching Michael Jordan TikToks.
Nice.
So I know once I see a Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, I'm just
you're just gone down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I love him with my whole heart.
Those are 2 good answers. Those are good. I would say similar. My first answer is similar to yours. My grandpa, just for, similar reasons. I feel like he recently died. Not recent, but in the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, not 5 years.
Yeah, less than 5 years ago. So I was older and I wasn't a child, so I had more time, I guess, to talk to him and stuff. But you just always never get to say enough or find out enough or ask enough or there's just always more stories I feel that you can hear. So I wish that I could have dinner with him just to like talk more and all that. And other than that, I don't really know. I maybe just would pick like I think I said George Washington because I didn't know what
Oh
to
yeah,
say.
you
But
did.
like I'd pick I think some random and the obvious answer for me is Drake, but like I feel like that's not a very interesting answer. So I would maybe pick somebody who's like been long dead, who's from like a way, way, way back in the day, just to
Yeah.
like see what life was like.
Well, yeah, I
Because I
like
feel
that.
like, and to see their reaction to what life is like now compared to
Yeah,
what it was then. So somebody like that. I guess I'll stick with my guy
for
George.
sure. Yeah, I like George.
Um,
That made me think I could have picked Taylor Swift.
yeah,
But I think maybe in time that would be my answer. Right now, I just know what I need to know, and I'm satisfied with that.
yeah, that's fair. Alrighty, number
Fabulous.
2. Would you like to be famous? And if so, in what way?
This one, I feel like I crushed the answer
I
for
don't
last time.
remember at all what I said.
I said yes, and I started by saying, obviously, by being famous, it tends to come with some financial securities.
Yeah.
And
Okay, it's coming back to me.
regardless of what people say, yes, I agree with the sentiment, more money, more problems.
Sure.
But most of us are not overnight sensations. I think most people that have that kind of fame and success, it is built upon.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's, of course, we'll use like the influencers or social media people that it does happen overnight. It's not like it's typically your first video, or if it is, you
You're
know the
lucky.
risk of
Yeah.
posting in this day and age of what that could lead to. And you could also
True.
stop at any point. Just like a job you can leave. But I said the way that I'd like to be famous is particularly through my career, and
Mm-hmm.
then more importantly, design. I'm really passionate about the education around design as a whole, not just
Mm-hmm.
interior design, but specifically in the public school systems and
Mm-hmm.
having value in some of those fields. And then, of course, like I would love to have those opportunities. Like when you're at the top of your career and you have this fame as a designer, you get to have the most resources, the best collaborators, and then that's where you can give back to the community and help
Mm.
educate. And so just having like the accessibility to some of those resources that come with fame, and of course do some fun projects. I just so many doors would open. I like, how could I say no?
Yeah. That's a really
Connect.
good answer. It's
Thank
better than
you.
mine. I would say, yeah, I want to be TikTok famous.
To each their own. That's not a
But
bad answer.
no, yeah, you're right. But in all seriousness, I mean, would I be opposed to being TikTok famous? Definitely not. But do I sit here and like strongly desire it? Not necessarily. I mean, it'd be cool, but please make me TikTok famous. No, I'm kidding.
Can we just give you a shout out though? You have posted every day for at least this year, maybe even a couple months longer.
I have not missed. I
And
have
it's
not
just a matter
missed.
of time. You cannot give up
I
because
won't. I
it's going
refuse.
to hit. Like I already see you gaining traction. Like,
You heard it here first. No, it's true.
yeah.
I feel like now and maybe not every video is a stretch, but like I'll have a period where like out of a week, 4 of my videos will get more than 1,000 views, which like I feel like might not sound like a lot for some people, but for a nobody who has like I only have like 370 followers or something,
Yeah.
that's a pretty consistent like
Mm-hmm.
flow. So we're moving slowly but surely.
100%.
So we'll see about that. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think I'm like you said, financial security is always a plus, and with more money, you can do more things, but you also have more problems. So it's kind of a give and take. But I wouldn't want to be like Kim K famous or like
Sure.
A
Yeah.
list where I can't leave my house without
Yeah.
um security. I think it'd be fun for like a day to do that, just to see like what all ridiculous things I could do with my money. But like on a real note, probably not. So maybe I'll just be like a low level E-level influencer one day. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
I agree.
Number 3, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? Why? It's all coming back to me, kind of.
Yeah, as you say, I'm like, I think this is how it went.
It's clicking. I said no because, well, before do you ever rehearse? Yeah, I said no. Like nowadays, no, unless I like maybe if I'm like on a work call or something, I'll like prepare stuff. But in real life, just with like personal people, friends, family, whoever it is, I probably don't because I just don't feel the need to. I mean, I feel like most of the time I just go with the flow. And also I just
Yeah.
think I don't put as much pressure on myself to like sound a certain way because I'm just like at the end of the day, if something I said was wrong, like I can't do anything about it. If I actually offended you, then like of course I'll apologize and we'll work through that. But
Yeah.
I would rather not spend time stressing about what I should or shouldn't say, or what if they answered this way, then what am I going to say, or if they answered that way, because I feel like maybe I would have done that before, like when I was in college, but
Yeah.
now I just kind of let go of that.
I think that's healthy though, and I think that's a sign of like personal confidence in yourself as well as like not a
Yeah,
lack of caring in a bad way, but just like letting go of the what ifs kind of thing.
definitely. What would you say?
I'm the opposite. I would say yes. And it's more so like and well, sometimes it's talking out loud. I don't think it's ever necessarily to prepare for like to your point, a phone call. It's more just like sometimes specifically when it's late at night or I'm about to take a shower or just like, driving to and from work, a thought will come into my head or like a topic of like, I really care about this, or I could see myself being asked about this. And I'm a big believer in it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So sometimes I like to get a little like trial run for myself, especially if I'm like leading an education or like doing something more meaningful of like
Yeah.
I want this to come across effective. And I do think a lot of my success is how I framed it. Like I started in a role that was not really it didn't have a lot of benchmarks to hit, so I had to make those, and it's something even now that I have like numerical goals to hit. It's like I want to have goals and things I'm looking at beyond that, and part of that is just articulating what's going on in my brain.
Yeah.
Or especially with clients, and really anyone, if something's like kind of heated or like I think could go bad, I like to come up with my like comebacks
Your
kind of ahead
rebuttal.
of time. Yeah.
The worst
Because
is when you think of the rebuttal later and you're like, dang it, if
yes.
I would have said that, it would have been so good.
Yes, I love that because something I've noticed as I've gotten older is I somewhat stutter a little bit more. And I think it's because I'm just thinking so quickly, my mouth can't keep up
Yeah, with
with
what your
what's
thoughts are.
thinking.
Yeah.
So I also think practicing helps me articulate so I don't become like a slurred mess.
Yeah. No, that's a fair statement. Okay.
So yeah, no.
Alrighty. Number 4. What would constitute a perfect day for you? I can't even remember what you said besides like being with friends. I don't really know what else. Do you remember what you said or not really?
No, now that you say that, no.
Well, you're gonna have to start over. New thought. Hopefully it's the same.
Yeah, what was it?
I don't know. I remember what I
What did
said.
you what did you say? Yeah, go
This
ahead.
is when it started to cut. This question is when on the last one it all because
We
I was
did
in
make
the
it far.
no, we didn't. I was in the middle of talking about breakfast burritos and all of a sudden it just went dead. I was like, wait, what? But I had said that my perfect day would be like I get to sleep in a little bit, nothing crazy, but like I don't want to wake up at the crack of dawn. I want to go to like a cute little like cafe or coffee shop or something and get a nice coffee, have a breakfast burrito, and then I said I would want to do like some kind of activity because I'm a big activities person.
Yeah,
Maybe an outdoor activity. These days, I feel like I've been liking pickleball, so that could be fun.
that's
Or a
right.
putt putt situation because we
We
all
did
know
talk
I'm a
about
putt putt. We
putt.
all know. I know. It's
You
fun.
should make a
Okay.
TikTok series. That should be one of like you could be the putt putt girl. You
I
could
should be
rank
the
all the
putt putt girl.
courses.
Yeah, I should. If I lived in Myrtle Beach, that would be killer because there's a million putt putt
True.
courses in Myrtle Beach. I don't know how many there are in Charlotte, but surely
You
there's
could come up
more.
with like 3 tiers ranking on like difficulty, aesthetics, and like
I should look at my creative
whatever.
director.
I
Look
was
at
gonna
her.
say I'm a lot better for other people. I suck.
Yeah,
For
she's out here
me.
coming up with content for me, which I need because sometimes I just.
Should we have a brainstorming sesh?
We should. I support that.
Yeah, maybe that's a pod.
That'd be
Anyway,
good. So
back to your
yeah,
favorite day.
doing something outside, pickleball, putt putt, an activity, something with friends, family, people I care about, and then maybe like going to some kind of concert. I like concerts or
You did
like
say that too.
maybe like a music event. It doesn't have to be anything like crazy, but something maybe like an outdoor concert. I don't know. That could be a fun thing. And then eating just good food. I like good food. And we
Yeah.
love to eat. So
That's what I was thinking of when I laughed.
I know you were. That's why I said it. So yeah, and then I just kind of want to snuggle on the couch and just go night night, take a
Aw.
nap. So
I'm gonna take a nap right here.
I think that would be a combination of those would probably be my perfect day. What about you?
That sounds fabulous. I learned more that time than I did the first time, even though I think you nailed everything that you said the first time.
Well, then maybe this one's better. Maybe
It
this
just
episode
resonated more. For me, I got my thoughts jogging and I remember part of it. I know the first part, I agree I'd love to somewhat sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to say I said something about being a morning person, even though I'm not.
Okay.
But what made me think of that was my dream day would be at laying out in the sun,
Oh yeah.
preferably on the beach. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I have a day off in the summer, I will just
You just want
sit
to lay
and
out.
park it by the pool with a
Yeah.
book. And as long as my skin can take it, I will be out there. It's peaceful. I love it. It is like I got a Kindle last summer and I read so many more books and I just like to escape. There's
Mm-hmm.
something about the warm sun hitting my skin that like
Just really does it for
fuels
you.
my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I think most people look better with a tan and then I just get like 10 times hotter because I'm tanner.
Yeah.
Literally and metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after that a little afternoon nap would be fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd love to do like a big like dinner with friends. And then maybe like a little evening out on the town, maybe a little dancey dance, maybe a little bar hopping.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really fun. And then I think in the evening, I would love to either have like a sleepover with the girlies and just like chit chat.
That's always a good way to end the day.
Yeah, like maybe like be home by midnight and then like from midnight to like 2 to 3
Mm-hmm.
chit chat. Or actually, I don't even want a man's. I was gonna say if I had a man, like hang out with him, but no, I'm good.
You said no, the girls will do it for me. Thank you. Next.
No,
That's a good day.
yeah,
I see that for you, especially the laying out part. I feel like when
yeah,
you lived in Denver, well, and I guess not in New York, obviously, but being
no,
at home and in Denver, especially, I feel like all you would do is lay out and read. So
yeah.
that is good.
Slay.
Okay, number
Oh, you know what
5.
day that makes me think of when I share that?
What?
Um, that one day we were at the beach. We went to the beach bars. We walked. Well, I don't think we walked, but remember your mom had the house for 4th of July down at the very end of the island.
Yes, I
That
think we did walk one of the ways,
yeah, one of the ways.
if not both.
I remember walking, but it just seems like it was way further
Yeah,
than I
that was
remember walking.
yeah, it was. That was the first time I like ever went to the beach bars.
Yeah, and it was
And I was like, I hate this. Like I didn't hate it, but
it was the most busiest
it
weekend
was
of
the
the
busiest
summer.
weekend of the whole entire year, and that was my first
It
experience.
was
And so
crazy.
it was crazy, but actually looking back, it was a lot of fun. Like
It
I
was
think
the
I
most fun.
was miserable at Jimmy's, but I had fun.
We moved pretty quickly.
We
from
moved
Jimmy's.
around, and I had fun overall.
Yeah, we had the most fun at Jerry's.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Remember?
we did. Yeah.
Do you have? I have that Polaroid.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's a good day for me.
Yeah, that was a good
Because our walk
day.
back was kind of like our sleepover because we kind of got a debrief.
It was. We did. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel like because we were drunk, it was like
Even better.
it didn't feel like a 10-mile walk, which it
Right.
wasn't 10 miles, but like it was pretty long. But
pretty
we got to
long.
chit chat, and that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. I don't really like this question. When did you last sing to yourself? And when did you last sing to someone else?
Did we answer this the first time? 'Cause
Yeah, we
I don't
did.
remember this question.
I think we just said like in the car, like I don't know. The last time I sang to myself is probably in the car. To
Yeah.
someone else is probably also in the car when I'm like riding with my boyfriend. I guess we sing,
Mm-hmm.
but like that's not really. I don't really have an interesting answer for that. Like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say mine's the car. The only other time I caught myself recently singing was I was working Sunday night on a large presentation I had Monday, and I had like watched enough. Like I typically have something on in the background, and I had like run through the podcast, and I'm actually in the process of. There's a podcast about every Taylor Swift album, and they break it down. So after I finish each episode, I'll watch or I'll listen to that album all the way through.
Yeah.
And if you know me, my favorite Taylor album is Reputation. So I finished that one. And then I was like, let me just read this or listen to this whole thing through. And I caught myself singing as I was like working. But I don't sing to anyone ever because I'm awful. So
yeah, I don't really. Does it count? Does it count when we go?
yeah, maybe that to each other before we start every time.
Yeah. Other than that, though, like I don't really have an
pre-show
interesting
ritual
answer for that. Oh, okay. This one's good. This one's good. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the body of a 30-year-old or mind,
yes.
which would you want?
We have to keep our original answers, I think.
I stand by my original answer.
Yeah,
I said I would like to retain the body of a 30-year-old. Or the body. Yeah, I would like to retain the body of a 30-year-old and keep my 90-year-old mind, because the reason for that is, one, I would rather be physically agile than mentally agile, because I feel like there's a lot of wisdom and like knowledge in somebody who's 90 years old, who's been through that much of life. And if I think about it, like where I'm at right now, I'm 25, so I'm 5 years away from being 30. Now, of course, I know that's scary. Hey, you're less than 5, so you're older than me, so I don't want to hear it. And of course, in 5 years from now, I'll probably be completely different than I am now. But like, I don't even know half of anything about the world at this point. So imagine like what all of the like life experience and knowledge and wisdom I'll have when I'm 90. So I think if I had to choose, I would rather have that stay with me and then be able to like move around and do stuff. And not that 90-year-olds can't move around, but of course with age things are limited. So yeah, that's why I would say that. Now, what would you say?
I remember you saying that and thinking, oh my gosh, should I change my answer? But I'm going to stand by my original. And I initially said I want to keep my mind, the mind of a 30-year-old and body of a 90-year-old. Because my counter argument and just what came to my mind initially was, if I can't logically think effectively, and I'm coming from a person that has had people in my family suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, like what does it matter if I can move, if I can't?
I didn't think of that when I was answering the first time either.
Yeah. And like, to me, I think one of my greatest strengths, at least at the moment, is my memory. And like, it brings me so much joy on my sad days. And then also like the memories are kind of even what make you feel sadness. Like typically sadness stems from a place of like still a feeling that you have memories from, and it reminds you of something. I don't know. So it just like, if I couldn't remember the happy times, and typically by 90, like most of your family has passed or your peers are passed. Like, I hope she never hears this, but I think of my grandma and she's 91. And imagine like every year you know less and less people because everyone else is just
that would
like
be really sad
passing. And then of course we're her family, but like if she couldn't remember all the things about her life, like that's not fun either. And I know watching my grandfather probably live at least 4 years of his life slowly decreasing his memory, and especially the last couple, just really like having no clue who we are. Like that is so obviously painful for him, but then like the people around you,
it's terrible.
It's not fun. And not that one's better than the other, they're neither great. So
well, that's a good reason. I feel like obviously in a perfect world, if I was retaining the mind of a 90-year-old, I wouldn't have dementia, but I didn't think of that. It's a good point. All good points were made.
Yeah.
Number 7, do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? I also hate this question. No, I don't know. I mean, do I have a way that I hope I'll die? Sure, and that is peacefully in my sleep. Do I have a way that I really think I'm going to? Not necessarily. I don't really know. Do you have a hunch about how you'll die?
Yeah, I think I shared last time that when I was younger, I really thought I was gonna die relatively young. Like I've
Yeah.
always thought about my funeral.
Mhm.
And I think I shared last time too that like in my family we've just been very open about death conversations. Like I know how each one of my like immediate family wants their death to be handled, at least up until this point. I also
Mhm.
know how assets were to be handled. And we've talked about that ever since my dad's parents passed, just because it was such an impact on him and his family.
Yeah.
And at this point, I just assume it'll be health reasons. Like I've
Mhm.
listed both my mom's side and dad's sides have had like awful like health things happen. So I just a
Yeah.
slew of those problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I know this isn't related to death, but my eyesight it's not like awful, but it's starting to decline, and my whole family besides me has god awful eyesight. And now I'm just like, fuck, it's happening.
You're like, it's my time. My
Like
eyes
starting
are.
to squint everywhere. I'm like, I can't see
That's not
anything.
good. That's not good.
Yeah, so just one of many.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we both have peaceful deaths.
I know. Take me out, man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, dang, what did we say for this? 3 things. It says, okay, number 8. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. Since we know each other, I think like this is meant more for people who don't know each other. I think like based off first impressions, obviously we know each other, but we still I think collectively we came up with 3 together of things that we think we have in common. And
Yeah, I think so too.
why do I not remember what they were? And I thought they were good.
I thought so. Yes, that's exactly. I'm feeling the same way.
Okay, I think one of them was kind of a joke, but also true. I think we said we're funny, which like sounds so stupid, but like low key, it's true. Nobody really
Yeah, we're
knows.
superstars.
But besides that, I feel like there was 2 like good ones.
The only one I think
What
I
did we
remember is
say?
something just about like our friendship and just that like we care
Yeah.
um about obviously each other, but like we've gone through this journey of friendship and it's looked different at so many times, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure we each thought at different points not that we wouldn't make it, but maybe it wouldn't be what it is now.
I thought we wouldn't make it when you called me a bitch.
Yeah, probably me too.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, I think in that moment I was like, done.
In the moment, I remember where I was too. I was in the car
You
on
too.
I was in the car on Oleander driving towards like the dance studio on the corner of like Trader Joe's, like College and Oleander.
Yes, I was actually in the Whole Foods on Oleander.
Damn, so we were closer than we thought.
We were in passing.
Oh my gosh.
I know we've gone back and read that, and it's really just not as deep as we made it out to be.
No, it's not at all. But yeah, no, our friend I feel like we both like I don't know, we just have an understanding now of like
Yeah,
what the vibes are and like we can disagree but it not be a whole like you're a bitch situation.
for sure.
And like I don't know, just
That
feel
was
like
so dramatic.
no, it was. We've definitely matured. So I feel like and like you said, we care I feel like equally, so that's good.
Yeah.
And we're funny. And then what's the last one? I don't know. I feel like
Was it family oriented?
I don't think so. What the heck was it?
Was it about the pod? I will say,
No,
sidebar, I noticed we talk more though because of the pod.
definitely.
Which if that's the only reason we do it, like let's keep doing it, you know?
Yeah. I've thought about before like sometimes I'm like, do I really want to do this? But then I'm like,
Yeah, you gotta talk
yeah,
to the bestie.
because even if it goes nowhere, at least we just get to chit
Yeah.
chat, so it doesn't really matter. Um, I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Was it
now I'm just trying to.
was it the darkness of the night?
Was
Was
it?
that I want to say that got brought up last time, but I don't know when.
It might have been.
Something we have in common? Was
I don't
it
know. We both
eating?
like to travel, even though you.
We do like to
Wait,
travel.
did we say because we like to?
I was just thinking.
Did we say that? I don't know.
I like travel better than that. Just because, yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
haven't traveled as much as you, but one thing you and I are good about is obviously even if time passed, like we're gonna see each other, and that's kind of with the understanding of the friendship. And truthfully, I think now that you have a little bit more of like we actually have similar routines now, even though like we work different days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopeful that with time and we both have more like money, we can just do more.
I know. I agree.
And like I'd also love in the future if we lived close enough where like our families could be friends, and it's always like
I know that'd be
I would
a
say the
dream.
Ritzulis and the Castos, but like,
You never know.
we'll be
Well, I
we'll
don't
probably
know.
have different last names by the time we have
Probably.
a family. Let's
Probably.
hope.
Mm.
Um
Well, let's just leave it at
yeah.
that. Let's wrap on that question because I don't
Period.
know. Not us not knowing what we have in common.
I mean, there's just too much to name.
You're right. You're right.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Okay, number 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful?
I remember what I said.
Go ahead, because I don't really remember what I said.
I think I said my mental health.
Oh yeah, and now I remember what. Yep.
Yeah, just because obviously I'm not perfect. But I just really think I lived the beginning half of my life with such a victim mentality.
Mm,
And I think part of that was narratives of like things from childhood that maybe carried over, or maybe I didn't get the attention I wanted in certain instances, or just felt like I just wasn't cool or wasn't like the it girl.
yeah.
And it definitely carried over into a little bit of adulthood, specifically college.
Mhm.
And then I remember kind of a shift towards the end of college, and really since being out on my own and post grad in general, I've really been on this like self discovery journey, which I guess is just the rest of life. And I wouldn't even say it's a journey. It's just me
Yeah.
waking up every day.
Mhm.
And I've made a real effort at knowing myself, loving myself, being confident in who I am, and kind of like figuring out my baggage basically.
Mhm.
And if there's one thing I'm really confident in, it's myself. And I know how to calm myself down. I know what, when I get worked up, what that means, why it's happening, how to de escalate. And it happens a lot less now than like, I feel like every week there was a new thing. And I
Yeah.
think the example I gave last time was certain events back in the day would make me like spiral for up to a year.
Mm,
And I definitely am still someone that like I forgive, but I never forget.
yeah.
But I'm able to move on now, and I'm
You can
able,
let go and not let it like weigh
yeah,
on you for so long.
yeah, like I can move on in a matter of 5 minutes, where it probably took me 5 months previously.
Well, that's growth. If nothing else,
I
that's an
know.
accomplishment.
So yeah, just being in tune with my mental check, and it's one of those things until you take the time to do it, and there's so many ways you can do it.
Mhm.
It doesn't just magically get better one day.
Yeah, you got to take matters into your own hands and do it.
Yeah.
I think I said what I feel most grateful for. Like, I remember what I said, and I'll say that answer in a second. But initially, right now, I was gonna say my family, which I feel like is not too surprising. But I think what I did say was the fact that I'm like able to like provide a roof over my head
Yep.
and like do all these things for myself, which like I feel like I just, not that I never thought would be possible, but I'm just thankful that I have a job that allows me to live by myself in a city and like I can put groceries in my fridge and not
Yeah.
have to like panic. Not that I'm rich by any means, but like
No, but you're,
I can
yeah,
live my life and I don't have to
absolutely.
stress too much. So that is really, I feel like, something that a lot of people take for granted who have that. So that's probably at this
For sure.
point one of the top things that I'm grateful for.
Yeah, that's epic though.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
like you haven't even been fully doing or like in this job for like a year. Not that it takes a year to get that, but like it's very impressive. Like just it just happened for you.
Yeah, I
And
got lucky.
you worked for it.
Yeah. Number 10, if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? I don't know. I didn't know what to say, and then I think you helped me with this one, and I think I ended up saying that like I would change that my parents weren't divorced, which is partially true because it was super annoying going back and forth all the time and having to pack a bag and oh, I forgot something here, I forgot something there, I left it there, oh, now I got to go here. And splitting holidays is a pain, and it used to be a pain and it still is a pain, which now that we're older it's not as bad because we can basically do what we want.
What you want,
but when you're younger and it's like your parents' first divorce and there's all this different stuff with custody, you kind of have a more strict schedule that you have to follow. So that was annoying, but at the same time, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, well, I wouldn't want my parents to be together if it meant that
Or
they would like hate their lives and be miserable. So if you would ask my childhood self, I would say that. If you would ask myself now, I maybe wouldn't, but I'll stick with that for the sake of the question.
yeah, I think that's. I remember talking about that with you last time,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't to your point the fact that they got divorced, but it was more like the logistics behind it for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. If anybody out there has divorced parents, you know. Where is my collar? It just oh, it's right there. Okay, I'm dumb. What would you
Yes.
say?
I think I talked about something relating to our family's communication and
Yeah, you did.
differences,
Mm-hmm.
just because we now that we're older, we're kind of trying to redefine like not what our family looks like. It's very clear mom, dad, Kenna, Colton, but like what do we want to prioritize every year? Is it coming home at Christmas, which right now it has been? Is it,
Mm-hmm.
traveling to see one another? Who wants to do what? Who's willing to do what? And what I really value, like our parents have always given us really the freedom to do as we please. Of course, there was boundaries and guidelines and lots of rules growing up, but it was never like you have to come home every Christmas. We expect you to spend every birthday with us, every
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Like it's really now like, oh, what do you want to do? What works with your work schedule? Works with
Mm-hmm.
your desires, your dreams. Like even if Colton's got a girlfriend, and if he
Mm-hmm.
was one day like, hey, I think it's time to spend like XYZ holiday with her family, I think they would be okay with that. They would never pressure him to not do what he wants to do.
Yeah, or make him feel bad. Like, "Ugh, I can't believe you're not coming home."
But it's taken a lot for us to get to that conversation because it's also recognizing that it really is a choice. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point, of course, Colton and I are big players in it, but it's also like, okay, mom and dad, what do you want to do too? Like,
Yeah.
there's some things too as they get older, they just know aren't their cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sure, Colton and I would do anything with either of them, but how about all four of us? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
are we all going to be involved? And it takes a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more planning. And then I think growing up, we just didn't have those dialogues as often. It was just like, you are part of the Casto family and it's a brand name and you
And
have
that's
to
what that
uphold.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I talked about how I had lunch with my parents' good college friend before I left Denver, and he kind of said something and it really resonated with me. He was like, "Have you met your parents? You had no choice but to be great. Like you had." And I was like, "Thank you actually because that's how I felt." And there was so much pressure really around every day of my life it felt like, and maybe they didn't intend for me to feel like, but I felt like, "Okay, I have to go make my parents proud today. I have to like get good grades. I have to do this." And it
Yeah.
wasn't because I felt that way, or especially when things made me upset, or like my mom really pushed me to be in STEM, and I hate STEM with my whole heart.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't value it, but because I'm not great at it.
Yeah.
We didn't have great communication and respect for our differences. So I think if we could have led with that growing up, of like, hey, like if my mom and I's dialogue growing up was, hey, I know you don't like this, but it matters to me and it's important to me. Can we meet in the middle? Like, I
Yeah.
just
At
think
least
things
give it
would
a
have
try.
gone
Yeah.
different. And I get at certain points, I wasn't old enough
To make your own
to
decision
like
fully. Yeah.
argue
Yeah.
those. But we just didn't handle conflict well. And it's now rolling into adulthood, not in a
Mm-hmm.
negative way, but it's just like, oh shit, if no one says anything, like, we're not talking.
No one's gonna say anything. Yeah. That's
Like,
fair.
my dad, oh my gosh, this is sidebar. My dad scored a hole in one the other day.
I saw that on your something.
Yes, it was. I posted the screenshot of our family text on.
Yeah. That's insane. How did he do? I mean, I'm sure he just
I
got
don't
really, really lucky,
know.
but like that's wild. I bet he was so excited.
I know. I need to call him because I want to know who he was with. How did he feel? Did you scream? Did you
Did he even know what
cry?
really happened until he got up to
Yeah.
the green and saw it when he was like, "Where's my ball? Oh, it's in the cup."
Right. Did you go celebrate? Like,
I
he's
would have
always told
screamed.
me when you hit a hole in one, you buy everyone drinks.
No, really?
And I think that's how it is in the PGA or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you buy everyone else's meal that day. And I'm like, that doesn't really seem right. If I'm
He's like,
getting
they
the
should all buy mine.
yeah, so I don't know, just things like that, which thank God he said something. He's the kind of guy that wouldn't say anything
Would
for
never say
Christmas
anything,
sometimes.
and then, like, you'd be home, and he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, kinda like that time I got a hole in one," and you'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. Or like remember back in the day when like your parents would send you like something for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And of course that just stops with time. And then my mom's cute and I'm sure she does it for me because I'm single, but she'll be like, she'll send in the family group chat like Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And my dad sent a heart emoji, which my dad does not like. He's
That
like
is
the
not
shortest
like at
texter
all.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
world.
yeah.
And Colton liked his emoji.
He said and Colton said.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, that was a long-winded answer, but that's my feelings.
Okay. 2 more, and I am about to pee my pants, so I'm
Should
gonna try to
we
answer these.
Do you want me to answer next and you go?
I can wait for 2 more questions unless we're
Oh.
gonna talk for 20 minutes per question.
No.
Well, one of them I don't wanna answer, but you're gonna make me anyway, I think.
Okay.
Not because it's bad, but it's just, like, take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible.
Oh, I think we did this and we
We
kept
ended
it
up
to like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, we did. Should I g should we do it again?
Yeah, hit the road, Jack. Come on.
Okay. I don't know what to say.
You talked a lot about your family and growing up in childhood.
Yeah, I think I just said I was born, woohoo, and then my parents were together for the first 8 years of my life, and they got divorced, and then I basically was like going back and forth between houses. I lived in a really nice house when they were married when I was like a child. We lived on the water, and I didn't really realize what I had until after. Then they got
Yeah.
divorced, they separated. My dad ended up getting a new partner. My mom didn't really, and so I kind of had to navigate all that situation. I mean, she had people here and there, but nothing that my dad's been with the same lady from then until now. So that was that. And then I don't know, I was in dance. That was a big thing. I went to school. I was popular in like elementary school, but I was lame in high school, and Kenna was popular. No, I'm kidding.
Stop the slander.
And then I don't even remember what else I said. I got my first boyfriend when I was in high school, and that was a real fun time. My dad hated my first boyfriend. Fair
Was
enough.
this
He was 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which like understandable. I guess I maybe would too if I was dealing with my first daughter's first boyfriend and he was
Yeah.
2 years older. But that was fun. I went through that, went through life, went through high school, went to college, did the thing, and now here I am working. I don't know what else to say. That was a really bad life story. Like I feel like I don't
I
know.
love that this time you touched on the boyfriends.
I know. Well, because I feel like
It was a
I'm a
pivotal
relationship person
That's true.
more so than not, which sounds bad. I'm not constantly in a relationship, but I
No.
feel like I've had more.
You do well in relationships. That's
Yeah,
not a
so I
bad
feel like
thing.
that was an important thing to add, especially because if you would have asked me when I was 16 if I was going to
True.
marry my first boyfriend, I would have been like, yes, I'm in love and I'm
100%.
obsessed.
Yeah. I think we all would have.
For sure.
To an
So,
extent. Like,
so
what's
yeah,
the
that
song
was.
when you're 15 and someone tells you they love you? You're going to believe it.
Exactly. So that's all I got.
Slay. She dropped the mic for anyone not watching. Which, if you're not watching, you should. We post every week on YouTube.
Yeah,
Like
it's
and
better
subscribe.
to see the video than just to listen, but
Yeah, you can see my glowing egg head.
your turn. I think your
Anyway,
answer is better than mine, and I feel like it's still going to be, so take the floor.
I think I said I've always been an aspiring creative mind. That sounds so fucking lame, but it's true. I've always just been a weird kid that has like arts and crafts being fun. I've liked the fun things in life. I love sports. I love being creative. I love design. I never felt like I fit in and just tried so hard to be cool. When at the end of the day, I'm just weird and I'm okay with that now. I remember the distinct day when one of my friends, he told me I was weird, and it was the first time I was like, I am, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am extracurricular
Extraordinaire.
maybe
Oh, I
extraordinaire.
don't know.
I was gonna say obsessed. Maybe I think I
Oh.
just pronounced that wrong. I was a kid that didn't know what life was like after high school and really struggled to grasp the idea of one day you simply go to college and then you work the rest of it. And now I'm
Mhm.
someone that's deeply career focused and love my career. So yeah, really just passionate about life, living it to the fullest, becoming my best self, and all the fun things. Period.
Good answer. Good answer. Nice way. Good keeping it concise and to the point.
Yes.
That's what we love to see. Okay, last question for part 1. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
I don't remember this.
I have no clue what I said.
This seems new.
If I could wake up tomorrow.
Maybe this is where I said I wanted to be a morning person.
Yeah, maybe.
I think maybe just because you don't get more by doing less. And right now, even though I'm doing a lot, there's still more things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be mastering my sleep schedule, the time I spend awake, what I do while I'm awake. I'm very sucked into TikTok right now. That's
Me
a
too. It's
sidebar. I'm really working on my discipline.
Yeah.
So that.
If I could have gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
To be in the best shape of my life.
True.
But I know that's not an overnight thing, and that comes with time, and we're getting there. But
you gonna be Sports Illustrated here shortly. Don't you worry.
thank you for the encouragement and the
You're
belief
welcome.
in me.
You're welcome.
Other than that, I mean, maybe be less stubborn. I feel like sometimes.
Yes, you did say that last time.
Sometimes that's problematic for me. So
You're not alone.
I gotta work on that. At least I'm self-aware. Okay?
I was gonna say self-reflection is the first step.
At least I don't think I'm perfect. Like, at least I think
You've also come a long way.
That's true.
You used to be like
even more.
Yeah, I'd say more stubborn than, of course, you are now.
Agreed.
So.
Agreed. Well,
okay. Well, that really wraps up this show, you guys. There's 2 more parts, similar lengths and style questions. They just supposedly get juicier and better. So be sure to like and subscribe because we're getting ready to film part 2 right now, which will be up the week following this episode. We mentioned it earlier, but we post on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well as YouTube on the Ken and Han channel, even though this is the Girls That Get It podcast, because you can be both at the same time.
True.
She's at H. Ranzuli. We clearly know she's popping off on TikTok, so go give her a follow. I'm at Kennecasso. I've slightly posted on Instagram stories, but that's just really about it. And we'll see you next time, and hopefully we'll be falling in love again. Okay. Bye.
Bye.